So the next load balancing method, what is that we are going to be talking about, is called as what? Observed, which is also of type dynamic load balancing method. We can also call something like observed load balancing method as a dynamic ratio method. We know what is the ratio. Ratio is nothing but an administrator configurable element on node or at member. Based on that, the load is going to be distributed. If it is 3 to 1, so the first server is going to be distributed with the 3 connections, second is going to be 2, and the third server is going to be only with 1. So that is a static ratio configuration. Now here in observed, what is that we are trying to do is, the ADC is going to be doing some ratio assignment dynamically to the servers according to the number of active connections, right? So number of active connections is the parameter which will be used by the ADC for assigning the ratio. Now, for example, you can see that one initially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 is what is being distributed to BNC. So now it is not equally being distributed. Over a period of time, you can see that the number of active connections on each and every server will be different, because few of the connections could have been closed. As it is closed, it is not being considered as an active connection. So that is going to be reducing the number of active connections in each and every server. Initially, even though the load is going to be distributed equally to each and every server, over a period of time, there will be the number of active connections in a different values. Each and every server may be having number of connections, number of active connections as not going to be equal, right? So we have server 1 with some amount of active connections, server 2 with a different amount of active connections. So what ADC is going to be doing is, it calculates that information, it takes that information, calculates a ratio, and that ratio is going to be dynamically applied, and it is not going to be keeping silent. It will be keep on monitoring the number of active connections, and these dynamic values are going to be dynamically modified. So accordingly, the load is also going to be distributed. Again, to configure the same thing, all you have to do is what? Get into your LTM. You can get into this one what? Observed node, and you also have observed member. All you have to do is what? Select and then say update. Right? So once this is done, your ADC is going to be start distributing the load according to the number of active connections by assigning a ratio,